Well, I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to be uploading this, whether or not it's going to be a late night upload or I'm going to be uploading this tomorrow on Monday, but regardless, hello everybody, welcome back to another Boruto episode review, and I wouldn't be surprised if some people had some low expectations of this episode. I thought there was going to be at least one thing I was going to really enjoy, and it was going to be the interactions between Kakashi and Disguise, because the main focus of the episode is Team 25 is having problems with their team and their coordination. There's this kid, Hoki, that's his name. He's a fanboy of Kakashi. You know, he's a fanboy of the sixth Hokage, Kakashi Hatake, and he wants to be like a super powerful, really good ninja and everything, and blah blah blah. And just he's trying to do everything in his power to be a really good ninja, just like how Kakashi was, and in turn, he's actually very selfish with this team. He's trying to give them orders when they're just trying to do their own thing, but it's explained why they're trying to do what they're doing in the first place. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But Kakashi, at the beginning of the episode, after the opening, sees that, they're having problems. And he's like, "You want me to go investigate it?" He's telling this to Sai, and then Sai was like, "Do you really want to? I mean, you're the retired sixth Hokage and everything, and blah blah blah." He's like, and then Kakashi was like, "I have free time. I'll go ahead and do it." He leaves, gets in disguise, and his usual disguise that he wears, like the investigator, like photographer guy. I forgot his name. I forgot what alias Kakashi uses when he's in that disguise. So for the duration of the episode, yes, we are just gonna refer to him as Kakashi regardless. Well, yeah, he gets in disguise, he goes to the postal service where Team 25 is, doing their mission, and of course, like I said earlier, they were having a little bit of issues with their coordination as a team. They weren't really working as a team. Most of them kind of resented each other and just weren't working together as comrades. And so the whole duration of the episode, there's a whole subplot. It's a subplot because obviously Hoki and his team are the main plot, but the subplot is there's a guy, who's sending bombs throughout the mail at specific times, and they're sending them in packages, and then eventually in the episode, Boruto and Sawada show up, and they're like, "We have to look for a bomb. The bomb was sent here, and we have to, deactivate it." And so they deactivate the bomb, they get praises from the postal worker that owns the place, and then they leave. And Hoki's obviously very upset because they're the only genin. Those three are the only genin that weren't notified of the whole bomb situation, this bomb threat that was going on. They weren't identified at all, and of course Hoki is very upset because the team isn't working together and he wasn't notified. They're only doing D-rank missions and you're not being treated seriously, and whilst everyone is getting praised for doing what they're able to do, and it is very discouraging, and I think a lot of people could relate in a couple of real life situations. This is very relatable. Ironically, a lot of people don't really like relatable things in media, but I actually kind of like this. It's a subplot, so it's not really that big of a deal, but of course it does end up coming back, so that's why I say it's a subplot. And then Kakashi's there the whole time. He's trying to figure things out, kind of figure out the behavior of everyone else. And then there's the girl Hako. That's her name, Hako. She has very good perception, because with just looking at the guy and kind of knowing him a little bit for a day or so, because she even says that herself. She's able to look at people's personalities, their behavioral patterns, what they do on a day-to-day basis. She's very perceptive, and she has a little doll that she has as a puppet who kind of helps her around. I think that's funny, and she's pretty funny as well, because she talks to the owner of the postal service place, and she calls him out saying if you don't stop fighting with your wife, bad things are gonna happen or whatever, or else you won't get your shirt ironed, because he didn't iron his shirt, and she was able to tell that by just a quick glance at him and knowing him for a little bit, and that was really funny. But of course that's very good for someone to have as a shinobi, very good perception. And Hoki is actually very has a very good memory. He has, he has a photographic memory. He's able to remember anything by just looking at it. He even says that himself, that he has a very good memory, and he's very aware of that, and that's pretty interesting. And not a lot of people have that, so I kind of like it. And then Renga's like, he's there in the episode. Of course, he's still part of the team, and he's the big brute guy that has a lot of strength, but he also has a lot of defenses. And at the end of the episode, he actually has something that we haven't really seen before, besides, the mud wall, like the Earth style mud wall. And he has like the shield on his back, and he's like carrying it around. And I wasn't really sure what it was. And then he pulls it out at the end of the episode because they find 2 extra bombs at the postal service place, and they disable them, and then they find the postal worker guy delivery person who was delivering the 3rd bomb that wasn't there. They find it, and it isn't able to get defused with the counter seal that they were using to deactivate the other bombs. And so Hoki throws it up in the air, and then Renga like activates this giant quarantine wall. That's what he calls it, and it just creates this big like kinetic wall like right in front of him and in front of the area, and it protects them against the explosion. And the explosion was pretty big, and we haven't really seen anything like that other than like the mud wall, for example, or like Gaara's sand, which isn't really like a mud wall or like what was shown in this episode. But I thought that was really cool. I thought that was actually like super cool, and that wasn't really something that we see. We don't really see very defensive-esque moves in the world of Naruto. Like we see offensive moves in a defensive way, but we haven't seen like a full defensive-ish move like ever, And I just thought that was really cool, and I'm just really glad that we got this episode because we have these characters that we haven't really seen before. These characters haven't had the spotlight, and I just think that's super cool. I think it's super cool that we have these characters that we've never seen before. They've never had the spotlight. I really like the girl, Hako, who's just really funny, and she has amazing perception. I think that's like really interesting. Hoki with his photographic memory and just his love and admiration for Kakashi is hilarious as well. And then Renga's like the big brute guy, but at times where he's just like, I don't know, still kind of interesting because of the whole thing where he has the fucking defensive wall, and that's so cool. I wasn't expecting that at all. I just think that's super interesting for some reason. I have no idea why. And so the episode just kind of ends with Kakashi giving a recommendation that Sai leads their team. I don't know if it's going to be temporary or it's going to be like a permanent thing, but Sai now leads that specific team, and I think Sai might actually be leading their team from now on, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them again in the near future. I would kind of hope so because, again, these are just more characters that haven't had the spotlight. I just think they're super interesting. I think that some of the stuff that they can do is unique to other characters besides maybe Shikadai, but Shikadai is just really smart. He doesn't have photographic memory, like sorta. He just has a very high intelligence. That's really it. But that's pretty much the episode. They just go and defuse the bomb. They do what they needed to do, and we get to see new characters interact with each other. And I just really like that. That's pretty much the entirety of the episode. Nothing else really happens besides that, and I just still really enjoyed the episode for some reason. It's not an amazing episode. It's not an amazing episode or anything, but it was just interesting to see these characters that we haven't seen before, and I really like when the anime can actually do that with certain episodes, because it hasn't been doing that for a long time, and I'm really glad that they're doing it. But that's pretty much the entirety of the episode. Not a lot else happens after that. Next week's episode, Konohamaru is gonna get a fucking girlfriend, I guess, and that's cool. So yeah, this episode was, I liked it. It was okay, but I would understand why some people didn't like it. The episode was fine. There wasn't really anything bad about it. There wasn't anything amazing about it. But I think the interactions between the characters and Kakashi in disguise interacting with some of the characters was also very entertaining as well, and I just enjoyed it. So that's pretty much just my thoughts about the episode. So we're going to end the video here. If you did enjoy for whatever reason, be sure to leave a like. If you are new, subscribe for more videos just like this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a fantastic day. I'm out. Peace.